Hello everyone, welcome back to Tally's Kitchen, and today we're going to be making drop scones. Now these are a really fast breakfast option and they're absolutely delicious. I really love this because they're really easy to put together. They pair perfectly with absolutely anything. It could be tea, it could be juice, some maple syrup or some honey or even some fresh fruit. I decided to have mine with fresh fruit and they turned out really nice, soft and fluffy. Now I really want to show you guys how to get this simple recipe done because it is just absolutely fantastic. So without any further ado, let's learn how to get this done. So in a bowl, I'm going to start here by adding 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Next up, I'm going to be doing a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and then I'm also going to be adding here 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Do not skip the baking powder because it's what will make your drop scones really nice and fluffy. And then up next, I'm going to be using some freshly crushed cardamom seeds. Now this is just for flavor, so you can skip this or you can replace this with some lemon zest if you want. So next up, I'll be adding some salt to taste, and then I'm just going to mix all my dry ingredients to combine. Once everything is nicely mixed together, go ahead and add 2 eggs into your mix. And then I'm just going to add as well vanilla essence just to bring in flavor as well. So when it comes to flavor, you can make it your own. So I'm just going to mix everything to combine, and then we'll go ahead and add in our milk. So lastly here, I'm just doing a 1/4 cup of milk because for us to make drop scones, you need a really nice heavy consistency. So we're going to be limiting our milk to strictly a 1/4 cup of milk. So from that point, just go ahead with your spatula and take your time to mix everything together until you get a really nice smooth consistency that does not have any lumps. It does take a little bit of time and a little bit of elbow grease, but just a few minutes, so it's something that you can easily get done. And our butter is ready for us to cook. It's as easy as that. We're ready to pop this onto our pan. So I have my pan heating over medium heat in preparation for cooking this, so let's jump there. So here's my pan, and I'm just going to use my pastry brush to rub on a little bit of cooking oil on top before I add in my butter. So I'm going to be doing here 1 tablespoon of butter because the drop scones are essentially really small in size. The butter is supposed to be heavy, so it's not supposed to flow too much. So you can add at least 3 or 4 tablespoons of your butter onto your pan. If you do have a bigger pan, then it should actually even take you lesser time to prepare. So my butter did spread out a little bit and my drop scones ended up creating one single shape, but I'm going to show you how to easily still get 3 drop scones from this. So the bubbles are going to begin forming and that is what creates the fluffiness in your drop scone. So you're just going to give it a little bit of time for the bottom to cook, and then once it's ready, we'll go ahead and flip this to the other side. So this looks pretty good, and I could not find my spatula today, so I'm just going to be using I cannot remember the name of this spoon, but so just use it to separate the drop scones into the individual pieces. It's really easy to separate as well, and then you're just going to use the same spoon to easily flip them onto the other side. So we're also going to let the other side cook for a while, and you want to be a little bit careful when you're preparing these drop scones because If your heat is too high, then it's not going to fully cook, especially within the center. So just ensure you're cooking this between medium to low heat so that your drop scones are fully cooked on the inside. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're making these types of drop scones. You can flip this on the other side for it to still cook a little bit until you're certain that everything is nicely cooked, and then you can remove this from the heat. So I did get a bit of a darker color here for my drop scones, and that's still fine. It's still nice and beautiful, but I'm going to show you another different color that you can achieve with your drop scones. So you'll still go ahead and add in a little bit of oil onto your pan using your pastry brush, and then I decided now, because I struggled the first time, I put the butter right at the edge so that they don't get to touch each other or spread out to each other. So we are going to let the bubbles form nicely, and then once the bottom is nicely cooked, and for you to know if the bottom is cooked, you will see a sort of solid structure that the batter forms. So if you can look at the drop scone on your right, you can see it kind of has a solid like shape, which makes you know that you can actually use a spoon to flip it. So once you see that it's solid like, just go ahead and flip it. Now this color is almost golden, which is really beautiful as well. So this is the other color you can want to achieve with your drop scones. So either you get them to this point, or you get them a little bit darker. Now for you to get them at this color and they are fully cooked on the inside, ensure you're cooking your drop scones on low heat. If you want them to be a little more browned, like the first batch that we had, then medium to low heat. But for you to achieve specifically a lighter color on your drop scones and for them to be fully cooked on the inside, ensure you're cooking them on low heat. And of course, if you're using a non-stick pan, you can decide not to use oil as well. For my drop scones, I really like using oil. I don't use oil for my pancakes, but for my drop scones, I believe it's really fundamental, but you can skip it if you don't want to add on any oil. So this is basically done, and we're going to get ready to serve. Look at how beautiful these drop scones look. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this into my tray, and I'm also going to be adding on a little bit of blueberries, specifically just for garnishing, and also I'm going to enjoy this while I'm eating as well. But that is optional. You can have this with anything that you have, whether it's maple syrup or some honey, or just plain, or even with stew. You can actually have this with stew, beef stew. It's absolutely delicious. Now this turned out absolutely incredible. They're really nice, soft and fluffy on the inside, and they were fully cooked. So like I said, you really want to be careful with the heat you use when you're preparing your drop scones. So I hope you did like this recipe, and if you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing. If you do try out this recipe, please let me know how it goes in the comment sections below, and I will see you all next time with another amazing recipe. For now, bye bye.